Hi everyone, my name's Carrie, and this is a short video about my newly finished chameleon cage. I've had two veiled chameleons in the past, and I'm about to get an envelope panther chameleon. Super excited, but this time I wanted to do a custom cage, build it myself. It was kind of a dual project. I've been wanting to build something out of an old pallet, and a lot of the commercial cages that I've purchased in the past didn't offer some of the ease of care setups that I figured out I really wanted out of a chameleon cage. I think I've watched about 1,000 videos of just different ideas and came to this what I consider pretty awesome cage, and so I wanted to share it with you, and hopefully it inspires you to build your own cage. I will say that I probably spent about as much money on this thing as a commercial bought cage this size would run, but I didn't care. It wasn't about saving money. It was about doing a project of my own and creating just a great setup for a new chameleon. So here we go. Flip my camera around. So this is actually the second video I've made of my cage, and I made a couple of changes recently, and so I decided to redo the video. Anyway, this is it. So the bottom has a base and two drawers. All of that wood is from a pallet, sanded down, sealed, stained with a water-based stain, and then several coats of water-based clear polyurethane to make it nice and safe and waterproof. The actual panels to the cage, and it does have black aluminum screen attached, were made from untreated 1x2s, new wood. Also water-based stain and water-based poly clear coat, several coats. And then the top is also made from the pallet wood, just hiding the lamp and the tubing. Now I have a Mist King system on this. It's I bought the starter kit, comes with that kind of medium-sized pump and one nozzle. I did pick up two extra nozzles. I just wasn't sure how many. This is the first time I'm using a Mist King system. In the past, I've manually misted. So I have to say this thing has been set up for about 3 weeks now, and it is awesome. I'm only using one nozzle. I discovered with two, it was just monsoon. So it definitely does the trick, and it was super easy to set up. Now, I'm very particular about things. I don't like to see cords. I don't like to see a bunch of the inner workings of the pump and timer on the lamp, or even the container for the reservoir water. So all of that is very well hidden on this cage. And I'm also doing all live plants, which in the past I've done plastic or silk, because I just love the look of the live plants. So let me give you a grand tour. And I am all about ease of cleaning these cages. You know, sometimes you get stuff in there and it's hard to get to areas. And so hopefully what you're about to see gives you some ideas about your own cage. All right, so first is kind of like finer details of things. So I used small dried bamboo sticks to create a little latching system. I've got two of them on here, then of course with a little handle. So get that flipped up. It just flips up and opens up very neatly. And one thing I will say, I was very particular in attaching the screen. So not only did I fold the edges underneath themselves, and then I've got a pneumatic stapler and stapled this on, so the screen is nice and taut. But I came back with just a plastic style trim piece, and so any place where you would see an edge of a screen that has been covered, just to minimize any risk that if this guy wants to climb on the screen, he won't get his, little foot caught on a tiny piece of wire or anything like that. So I've really tried to pay attention to the safety of the cage, as well as making it something that's just giving him plenty of hiding places, lots of plants that are safe if he decides he wants to munch down on one. I originally had a spider plant in here, but I read that if consumed, it has an opium effect and can cause sickness, so that quickly had to go. All the plants are considered safe for a chameleon cage, and all of them have received what I'm calling a root bath, meaning I took them out of the original container, washed off all the original dirt and then placed them in what's called a soilless potting mix, which basically you can do several different things to create that, but I just use sphagnum moss. Super easy. Everything in here is accessible and can easily be replaced. So if something living dies, hopefully just a plant, I can easily pull it out and replace it with a fresh new one. I did create a back wall using, as well as crossbars to hold vines and such, but watched several videos with the pond foam, the black pond foam, and that was interesting, fun stuff to work with, but covered it in a dried coconut dirt mixture. So nice and natural, lots of different size vines. This chameleon can access any part of this cage. I've got 2 or 3 places high up, and my heating lamp, which is it's a Solar Bright UVA, UVB, and heat lamp. So he has a perch from about 6 inches, maybe 8.5 to 9 inches, 12 inches, and on down. If he really wants to get in the shade, lots of things in the back. Low line vines, so he's got some great places to hang out, hide, cool down, or just bask in the sun. Now, there were a couple of things that I was really particular about, and that is ease of cleaning this thing. So I created a double drawer system. As you can see, I've got just some nice substrate kind of reptile bedding on the bottom. And this top drawer, it's just kind of in there, it pulls out. And actually, this is on, as you can kind of see here, it's on a screen. So I've got this bottom drawer screen. And the reason I did this is that I wanted to have something that caught the dripping water when the Miss King goes off. It runs 3 times a day for about 3-minute intervals right now. And, you know, there's dripping water. I didn't want anything sitting in the substrate. So I created the second drawer, and it is actually on just drawer sliders. And I custom built a plastic, well, it's actually acrylic sheet with 100% silicone, like you do in an aquarium. Tray to, as you can see, it's catching all the water coming down from the Miss King system. And that's easily it's just in here loosely. I can pull it out, empty it, clean it. This water is not recycled back into the cage. So as the substrate gets dirty, it drips down to the pan. I empty it. Only dechlorinated, clean water is running through my Miss King system to make it nice and healthy and safe for the chameleon. Now, another feature, I had not seen this anywhere, and this is just my type A personality coming out. So on the back side, this back wall back here is a plywood sheet. It was stained with the water-based stain, but this is an opening door, and it's pretty easy to unlatch, just a single latch there. It swings open and allows me to reach any of my plants on the back wall as well as the back of the cage. So when I do like a super heavy duty cleaning of the cage once a month or whatever is needed, I can very easily open that back door, step behind the cage, and clean out everything. Now, another thing I did, which is kind of crazy, I'm sure, sadly, once I built the base, before the container for the reservoir, it didn't fit. So lesson learned, but I'm using a 3-gallon plastic container, and obviously this is the reservoir for the Miss King system, and you want to have this lower than your pump or ground level with the pump. It's that pump is gravity fed, and so it had to be kind of sitting on the floor. And this whole setup right here allows me, this is a screw top, and I can just unscrew that with a funnel, pour water in. So I really don't have to get totally behind the cage or take the lid off, which, I don't know, call me lazy. I just like the easy button. I've also got the timer back there for my lamp. It's on for 12 hours a day so that there's a nice routine to the lighting. And then of course, the Miss King system comes with these nice little attachments that allow you to run the cord right up the back side, so you don't see any cords. Uh, yes, this was really, I wanted something really cool, piece of furniture that sits in my office area where I spend a lot of time, and it's a high traffic area. So this guy will see people all day long. And also just a really lovely cage to look at. Even without the chameleon in there, we're kind of enjoying just the peacefulness of all these plants and the brightness. So there it is. A few little fun details. I looked at a lot of stuff about pallet furniture, as you can see. But anyway, I hope you enjoy, and I hope this gives you some great ideas about making your own chameleon cage. Thanks for watching.